also known as Guarixecoa, in my native Taino name. And I'm grateful for me as a native woman, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a wife. I take pride in that.
So you're not afraid of saying your age, and you will say the half and the quarter no matter what.
I learned that a lot from my grandma. She would not state, yes, I am older. You know I am older. You see the grays. You see my wrinkles. That comes from my happiness, from my crying, from my suffering. And so, yeah, I'm proud of all these years that I've put into this life.
That's good. Who gave you your native name and what does it mean?
My native name in Taino is Guarixe, which means woman. Coa has two meanings. Coa is also our, how would I say, fertilizing stick that we used in our gardens in order to grow, to feed, to sustain our people. So Koa also means snake. And I know that with many religions, the snake is taboo. In our culture though, and in many native cultures, the snake itself, when things are wrong with the earth, the animals react. And they're the first ones to know that things are moving about. And so the snake, being that it lives in water, it lives on the land, it feels the vibrations of Mother Earth. And so, with that also said, the snake also sheds its skin every so often, just as humans do, except we don't shed like they do.
Yeah, we don't shed the entire...
But we do. And so with Goa, the snake, it is knowing of when to move about, when to let your people know, when to hold your children, when to save, and how to survive. I also got my name because of the way I danced. At a powwow, I did dance with a staff, which is a stick, and so as I hit the ground with it in my dancing, I had some elders in my Taino tribe, and they're the ones that gave me my name, and I hold it dear now for at least a good 30 years.
Now that you say powwow, when was your first powwow? Like, how old were you, and what do you remember about it?
In Taino, it's called Arroyo. I had never been to an Arroyo. Growing up, I grew up also in Morenque. I was born in New York, but I grew up in Morenque, always being the different one, the La Indiecita. And so, my first powwow, I believe, was in 1997, up in the Ramapo Reservation, up in New Jersey. I'm 52 and a half years old. It's helped me learn that it's an honor to be a woman, a native woman, and not take life so seriously. Oh my God, they do so much things to women. It's a good life if you sit down and try to understand it. And you don't have to understand it all, because I still at this age, I don't understand it all. I'm not trying to. But it's my way of life every single day. Because in the mirror, when I look, this is who I see. Una Taina. Sometimes I'm misconstrued. And I say it that way because it is a misconstruation of a person. But they don't know what I am. They think I'm Hindu, they think I'm Turkish, they think I'm everything else but Taina.
How do you feel, now that you're bringing up that it's like some people are trying to identify themselves as like native, how do you feel of some white or Americans or European descendant individuals that want to identify themselves as Native American just because they say, my grandfather told me that my great-grandmother was a princess Indian? do you, when you hear people saying that, do you laugh at them, or do you like, how, like, what makes you think that, or do you feel mad, or do you like, well, welcome, like, how is your reaction towards that?
Well, growing up, yeah, you'll find people, they want to be part of you. They want to be part of that movement. For whatever reason it is in their personal lives, they still want that little bit of having, everyone has a little Cherokee princess, great-great-grandma. So be it whatever you want to be. See, because we come in all kinds of colors and stuff. You know, if you look at a lot of the natives, you'd never think they were native. And yet the Iroquois, the Mohawk, they're interacting. And since, it also depended where you live, the climate. You see, we're a little darker because we have a lot of sunshine. And we have beaches, and so we didn't wear all those clothes. They were cold, so they didn't get much sunshine. When someone tells me that, I kind of see how they are with themselves. How do they say it? You know, is it something like they think that with that said, it's I'm going to accept them more? So it's something about them, not something, I don't get mad or whatever. I did partake, like I said, in many Native American stuff, like Mariah, that's the ghost dance. I did a lot of sweat lodging, I was a firekeeper, did powwows, and yet you'll find that the Caucasian person will want to touch your hair. But if you have some knowledge about being Native American, you don't touch people's stuff. You don't touch their hair. That's what makes me mad. Oh, that's something will stir in me. So you know nothing about us. And I say us because, like I said, I grew up Taino, but here in the United States, I have a lot of Native American family. I partake in many, well, I used to, not so much anymore, of the different ceremonies. And so those things you hold dear and you hold sacred. And I taught my children these things. So when someone comes up to me and says that apparently they want to be part of us or of something that they might feel guilt for their ancestors did to us, you can't live life with being mad at every white person. Unfortunately, no, I would say very fortunately, my best friends, one, she's Italian. And as we know, Christopher Columbus was Italian. Grandpa, a black grandma, and a little Indian girl in the middle. So they said, well, where did you get that little, like, what do you mean, where did she get her from? Like you bought me or something? Like, these were my thoughts when I was a little girl. But I always knew I was loved because of that, and besides that, because we were all different, and yet we were all a family, we were all the same. So it made no difference. But yeah, there will be white people, yeah, Caucasians, that will come in a bad way. And so if you really feel strong about yourself as an individual, as a human, and for whatever culture you come from, you can feel it coming. And you still will speak to them. But you know you come on the defense now. You don't come as, yes, this is who I am and what I am. But especially me, sometimes we'll go somewhere and they'll be talking to him and they'll be saying, wow, she's so India. India, ¿qué es India? Qué bonita, qué bella. Gracias. You speak Spanish? Oh, yeah. Why not? Oh, you don't like it. And of course, it's because I know that within my family, there's a Native American. Within my family, there is African. Within my family, of course, the Taino. And of course, the Spaniard. And so with that whole mixture, this is what they got. I would say since I was a little girl. My dad looks, he doesn't even look Taino. He looks like he's some kind of Sioux Apache kind of Indian, like that. Very stoic, very, his profile is so out there, you'd never think he was a Taino. So, as growing up with the straight long black hair, it was always, la indecita or la taína. And since I was little, I was thinking, yeah, what is that? Apparently it's a special thing because they're not, apparently my grandpa's already looked at as white skin, fair skin, so he's Spaniard. My grandma, she is black, she is African. And then we have this little girl. She was Taino, she's Indian. Where did she come from? Where'd you get her? So I always knew. And in school, I went to school in Puerto Rico, so they teach you about the Tainos, But not as deep as you'd like to, of course, because in school they gotta give you a curriculum. It's over, it's done. Move on. That always stood with me. But I never really, I had my books and stuff that I would read, definitely. Just thought it was part of my identity, not something that I was going to, like now, I'm going to overtake the world, which is saying, I am Taina, and sorry. I was introduced to different nations as far as, the Taino nation, Boricuas this, and Puerto Ricans that, and so as mixing in with a lot, we became great friends, and I learned a lot more, and I'm glad I did. I renewed and resurfaced everything that I knew from when I was a little girl, that nobody wanted to talk about really because it's hush-hush. Until this day, I'm learning more and more. Every time I see a book, I want to take it and I want to learn more. And
did you ever face any challenges, segregation, stereotypes by your own people as like Borinque, like Boricuas, or as like the Caucasians and African Americans?
Yeah, we're kind of like gray matter, We're not black enough. We're not white enough. And sometimes we're not even Indian enough. We're always like right in the middle. Like we have to defend who we are all the time. And that's okay too. At least for me, I know who I am. And so I have my identity. As far as having a hard time, being a woman enough, walking into a place, whereas I'm humble enough to understand that at my age, and I am a grandmother, and I stress these everyday lives that we have, I can walk into a place and they look at me like, oh, she thinks she's all that. She thinks, oh, she got the hair, oh, she got this. Guess what? This is what my mom and my dad gave me, and I'm proud. Challenges, when I walk into stores, I can walk into a Walmart, I can walk in anywhere. And it's not just the Caucasian, it's the Caucasian, I'm too dark. Indians, why they here? The black girls are like, she thinks she's so cute with her hair and stuff like that. Like, I'm not trying to be cute, I'm just trying to be me. And then we have Puerto Ricans, where they're like, they didn't exist. They're dead. Why they gotta dress like that? Why they gotta wear braids like that? Come on, get the red hair going on and get your earrings. Again, at my age, I have to dress a little bit more conservative. I also dress in my neutral colors. I always wear something that has to do with my culture. I don't wear gold. I think gold, that's what they killed us for. Because they saw that was one of the resources they saw. Sometimes I wear a feather in my hair, And people may think, oh, that's ridiculous. Oh, but that's an old-fashioned statement. No, for me it's an everyday statement. My statement is, I'm carrying some sacredness with me today. Let me be humble enough to understand when things happen. I'll just touch my head and my feather and realize I'm still here. Anywhere you go, tell me you don't find a Boricua. Tell me you don't find a Puerto Rican. I've lived in Germany. I've lived in holes. And you will always find a Boricua. I can't say Taino, but you already know that Taino. That they don't know within their heart is one thing, but we're everywhere. But to get the word out, that we're still here and we're proud we're too. We had the ocean, we had the resources we had, beautiful, and that's why they overtook us. We were such beautiful people. We welcomed. Oh, you got ships? Oh, your ship sunk. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna save everything. Come, we're gonna feed you. You like her? Well, let's have some kind of relationships here. Instead, they bombarded us, and they took us for everything. And even the toughest of us, we had to die. And when they didn't kill us, we made pacts of committing suicide because we'd rather not live in that way. We'll go into our oceans. We'll take our children because I don't want to leave my children behind for this. But a lot of us survived. A lot of blood survived. Even though they had to live in other lands, because many of us were taken to different lands as slaves, as concubines, as just some of us would. I've heard some Tainos really, really made it out there. But of course, they assimilated, they cut your hair. Now you were no longer Taino. Now you were of a Spaniard. Now you were more of a German. Now you were more of French. Within your mind and in your heart and in your blood ran that Taino-ness.
To the government and politics, how do you feel when the government wants to terminate some reservations and wanted to make the Native American Americanized? Do you feel that they need to back off and let Native Americans be Native Americans and let them be their nation and be who they want to be? Or do you think that they should do it? Or do you think that it should be like a 50-50?
Well, since a long, long time ago, the government has done nothing but trick you. They sign treaties, and they say they're going to do. And then for some reason or another, their skin and my skin are two different colors, and yours wins. And so you break your treaties and you say, it's okay. Look, you have all this land. Just give me this part, and I'll give you some money, and you can live on that side. And when you say no, well, you don't want to sign for it, we're going to take it anyway. Because the United States belongs to the United States, the government. And yet, they have no pity for their children. They have no pity for the elders. For those warriors that are fighting, everything has to be legalized on paper. But it was. But you lost it, you broke it, it burned. That doesn't matter. Word is what mattered. Then, also, that didn't matter either. They're still doing it. Unfortunately, what has happened is a lot of our children are drug addicts. They become criminals because now they're alcoholics. The men grow up to be very alcoholic, the women very, you don't have much. You don't have much to live on. You don't have much to eat. And so you're eating everything that the government gives you, which is bad for you. And so now you have diabetes. and you're dying of heart disease, and you're dying, and you keep dying. You give me the wrong foods. You take my land, I can't grow anything. So I have to eat, I have to feed my children. Politically, they say they're going to do, and they put it on the back burner because it's not as important. And then when you raise the questions and you raise your voice, you're being savages again. They're killing each other anyway. They're savages. Let me say my story. And when the real story comes out, it's like, darn savages. They're still savages. The savages, because we don't treat each other that way anymore. And so now, in this day, today, is why we gotta lock the doors. You have to make sure who lives here, who doesn't live here. Yeah, we want to eat better, but the government is still, themselves. Once again, they're breaking treaties that are supposedly law. See, their law is good. Native law is not good because it doesn't benefit them. As long as it benefits the government, they're good. To this day, they're doing it to the American people. They're doing it to the natives. They're doing it here. They're doing it abroad. It's an international thing. And so the simplest of things that we should do is to teach our children who we are. At least have it in their hearts. You know, everybody's going to die sooner or later. But if you keep it going, it will not die. It has not died because I, for one, I keep it going. I'm hoping to be a great-grandmother one day, and I'm going to teach my great-grandchildren too.
Thank you very much for sharing your story and everything.